Welcome back, wonderful humans. I'm Danielle and I currently live alone. I'm trying to shift towards healthy meals whilst remaining on a budget. Yeah, again, it's another week where my meal plan still didn't go to plan. Luckily, pretty much all of the food that I haven't had is in the freezer anyway. But for Saturday, I ended up going for brunch and ended up having one of the kids' breakfast and a frozen strawberry yogurt bowl from a local pub down by the canal, where the canal itself was actually fully frozen. Then for dinner, I ended up having a jacket potato with some sour cream, mozzarella, and some bacon medallions chopped up on the side as well. Meaning that whilst I still came in at slightly over my calorie goal, it wasn't too bad and would pretty much be keeping me on a rough target. For Sunday's breakfast, I ended up having some 0% Greek yogurt with some kiwis, and then slightly later on the day, I ended up having some gingerbread Oreos. I love to have kiwi with things, and these ones were just turning. So if I hadn't have had them then, they would have started to go bad. So it was a good job that I did end up cutting them up when I did. But then for dinner, I ended up doing myself a steak, some air fried chips, and then I had some wine on the side as well, which was definitely a calorie heavy meal. But overall, it didn't come in too bad. I probably should have had some broccoli with it to balance everything out. And as always, Monday was my 8 to 6 day at work, but I did make sure to try to have a bit of balance. So I had some jelly yogurt, sort of a jelly yogurt mix with then some raspberries on top as well. Obviously super low in calories, but I would make some tweaks to it in the future, and I will pop a card recipe up for it as well. Then for Monday's lunch, I ended up having some out of focus soup. I think it was one of the butternut squash ones that I had. I had some butternut squash and some pumpkin ones in the freezer that I defrosted. And I also had some of these limited edition cream egg double stuffed Oreos. As you can see, the very first one was sort of broken, and I sort of threw it down in a bit of annoyance. But they were super yummy. I wouldn't say that they tasted particularly of cream egg or anything more than a normal Oreo, but they were a nice little crunchy treat all the same. But then for dinner, I ended up doing a slow cooked bolognese with some spaghetti. I did add probably slightly too much liquid into a slow cooker, but I'm always scared that I will end up putting in too little and it'll end up sort of sticking all to the bottom. Definitely something to work on next time. I'll probably go for about 3/4 of a tin of chopped tomatoes instead of a full tin. Then for Tuesday's breakfast, I had the other one of those jelly yogurts with some raspberries. And like I said, it was all right. It definitely needed improvement. I found that it was kind of too much jelly and not necessarily enough creaminess. But then I did end up having a banana and some easy peelers for a morning snack. As you can see, my bananas are starting to go. I do still have three left. I will probably be making into banana bread or banana muffins or something over the next few days. And then for lunch, I still had some brie that I wanted to use up and some salad. So I decided what better to do than to pop that into a wrap and have that for lunch. Super quick and simple to put together and to also eat in my half an hour break as well. But then for dinner, I was feeling pretty tired and I didn't remember to do some of my soaking of my mushrooms, so I couldn't do my mushroom risotto. So instead, I just ended up putting some gammon into the oven, had that with some cheese and crackers. This is the Wednesday deal with cranberry cheese. I obviously had this quite a lot before I had my gammon, but it was super yummy, super simple. Again, not necessarily the most nutritious or balanced thing. But for Wednesday's breakfast, I had some more Greek yogurt, some chia seeds, some peanut butter. Where it's been so cold in my kitchen, it is still pretty much actually solid, even though it's normally quite liquidy. And then I had a nice amount of blueberries as well. Lunch and just continuing to trudge through the week where I had cooked that gammon. I did heat it up and then have it with some barbecue sauce on the side. Again, I probably should have had this with some more salad or something, but I didn't live and learn. But then for dinner, I did go ahead and make that mushroom risotto. I'd made sure to soak those porcini mushrooms sort of on my afternoon break of work so that they were ready to go when it came time to putting this together with some chestnut mushrooms and baby butter mushrooms. And it was possibly the best risotto that I'd made for a while, especially with the grana padano that I'd grated into there as well. Thursday's breakfast, I just finished off this particular pot of Greek yogurt, and I have some fancy cacao and hazelnut spread. It was super rich. And then I finished some of the blueberries off as well. Before ending up having for lunch some more of that gammon and another one of my soups. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that this one might have actually been one of the pumpkin ones, but it was still super tasty. I'm pleased to have sort of got it out the freezer. And then for my dinner, I ended up making some more quesadillas. Obviously, I had a few quesadillas here and there, especially last week, but I was just using some more of that gammon with some mozzarella that I had, and that it became super stringy and warm and comforting, and super simple to throw together as well. Friday, I had to go out super early. I took holiday off of work. And on the way back, I just grabbed a caramel frappe from Bob and Bert's, as well as a slice of their Biscoff cake. And obviously, not the most healthy, but given what I'd gone through, the reason I'd gone to the doctors, it was well worth it and a nice little treat to myself. But then I wasn't feeling super hungry, had a bit of a stressful week, a bit of a crying week, and I just ended up having some cold gammon for dinner. But as always, thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.